Happening now, Chautauqua County Sheriff is discussing the recent changes to New York's concealed carry law. And Jamestown police are investigating yet another instance of illegal dumping on the city's east side. Plus, we're on the hunt for Bigfoot in our region. We'll take you to a stretch of the Allegheny Forest where the mythical creature was last seen.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, a new program to help law enforcement easily identify businesses welcoming lawful concealed carry practices is underway here in Chautauqua County. Our Julia Gress is hearing from the county sheriff, who's breaking down these new changes and a push by his office acknowledging legal carry's law.
Basically, an 8.5 by 11 poster that businesses or private residences can place on their window, acknowledging the new law that came out that went into effect this month. That anybody going into a private residence or business, if they were to carry a weapon in there, they could be violating the law. The way the law is written, that you have to have a signage stating that you're allowing them into the residence with or the private business with a concealed carry weapon.
The legal change is part of a comprehensive legislative package strengthening New York's gun laws, which was signed by Governor Kathy Hochul last month. Sheriff Jim Quattrone says he feels the new measures only hinder legal gun ownership. While the sheriff's office will take incident reports of alleged violators, Quattrone tells us his deputies will first work to educate everyone about the new safety measures and gun handling requirements if the law is not overturned.
I know very few, if any, instances of shootings in Chautauqua County that involve somebody with a concealed pistol permit. So it's those who are breaking the law, having the guns illegal, that are causing the problems. And unfortunately, the legislation has penalized those legal gun holders.
Changes to the state's pistol permit process have also taken effect, changing the permit renewal to 3 years instead of 5, and raising the age requirement to 21 for a New Yorker to purchase a semi-automatic weapon. Ahead of the policy changes, the sheriff's office received around 1,000 applications in the span of a month, the same number they usually receive in a year.
We're working with the licensing agent, who's the judge, and trying to get through them as best as we can. Again, there's parts of that we anticipate may be overturned as well.
The new application includes an extensive background check and review of the applicant's social media accounts, disclosure of members in their household, and a 16-hour safety course followed by a 2-hour practical shooting course as well. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. Now, after they catch up on the backlog, the sheriff's office will work with local safety instructors to develop a new training curriculum before accepting new applications. These courses, however, cannot be approved until July 2023. That's according to state guidance there. A 19-year-old Sinclairville resident is accused of discharging a shotgun, almost striking a man during an alleged altercation in the town of Stockton. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office reporting that this incident happened on Waterman Road back on August 28th. Now, following an investigation there, Caitlin Hayward was arrested on Monday. Deputies accused Hayward of firing a round from a 12-gauge shotgun in the vicinity of a subject, almost striking him. Hayward was taken into custody and charged with reckless endangerment and menacing. She was arraigned and will answer the charges out of the town of Stockton court. And police in Jamestown are investigating yet another instance of illegal dumping on the city's east side. Officers with the Jamestown Police Department released this security camera footage of a vehicle suspected of illegally dumping on Pratt Avenue on Sunday at around 5:10. This summer, illegal dumping of garbage has become an increasing problem across the city. On Pratt Avenue alone, at least 5 people have been arrested in connection with previous instances. In this latest violation, it's believed a gray-colored truck or SUV is involved. Anyone who might recognize this vehicle is asked to contact Jamestown Police at 716-483-7537. Their anonymous tip line, that number is 483-8477, or you can shoot them a message through social media. All tips are kept confidential. Well, the Senior Citizen Home Improvement Program which had unanticipated being very popular, has now grown in intense popularity among residents here in Jamestown, receiving nearly 300 applications in August alone. Well, now decidedly it is in need of more funding. Our Alyssa Wright joining us in studio to break down the proposed changes here. Alyssa.
Justin, the original allocation was roughly $500,000 with the same amount for a tax rebate incentive. Now officials are seeking an additional $500,000 after a total of $1.8 million in applications were received.
We have the Senior Citizen Home Improvement Program that ended up becoming wildly popular within the city. We have requests for improvements that total about $1.8 million. We originally only allocated about $500,000 to that program.
The pandemic saw a drop in sustainable income for many.
We have so many of our seniors really can't afford to put on a new roof, right? Or to repair the windows in their house, which can get very costly. So the ability for the city using rescue plan funds to help and assist them when many times they lost income and revenue during the pandemic, to be able to help them get back on their feet, to be able to help them make those renovations in their home is a really important thing and really helps out our community as a whole.
In order to qualify, the homeowner must be a senior citizen and make less than $22,000 a year. There is also a tax credit for those who make under $90,000 a year, where the city will pay for $10,000 in improvements with a 10% match from the household.
Even if we were to get to the 1.5 million, which is what we're asking of City Council, is really going to make a huge difference in a housing stock in the city of Jamestown that is very old and needs a lot of love. So to be able to help our citizens, the many who are on fixed incomes, limited incomes, get that window replaced that they haven't been able to and they've been living with it is a really important thing for the community.
In the end, the mayor believes the funding would help better the community for its seniors who, without this program, would not be able to complete these renovations to their homes. Reporting in studio, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
Alyssa, thank you very much for that. Well, now let's switch gears and get a first check of our weather forecast. Andrew Stevenson standing in for Dakota today. And Andrew, looking out behind you, it looks like the fog has burned off. However, we're still dealing with a couple of clouds in some spots.
Yeah, we had some fog this morning. Woke up, I didn't realize how foggy it was going to be this morning until I looked outside and I couldn't see up the street from me. Well, we have that fog that did taper off now. Now we got some dark clouds over Mayville, and we had some peaks of sunshine out there. Much like yesterday, we'll have some peaks of sunshine today. We'll have some clouds. We'll even have a few rain showers in there. As you will see on First Defense Doppler radar, if I can get it to load, there we go. You see those rain showers starting to move in. And move in across Chautauqua County and over in Erie, Pennsylvania, and we'll have those showers on and off throughout the day as low pressure is spinning across Ohio. That brings the rain showers through the day, but we will get into some sunshine as we head into the next few days. The high temperature yesterday was 74 degrees. That's right around average of 74. The record was 95 degrees set back in 1952. It didn't come anywhere close to that, or the record low of 28 degrees set back in 1985. So for today, we'll have partly to mostly cloudy skies. Occasional showers are possible this afternoon. There might be even isolated thunderstorm possible. Cool day today with temperatures in the mid-60s at the hilltops to near 70 in the lower elevations. Now it will be cool the next few days, but the sunshine and warmer temperatures are returning as we head into the weekend, and I'll tell you about that in just a couple of minutes. Justin?
All right, Andrew, we'll see you back in just a bit as we continue the latest efforts to reform parole. And later, the Bemis Point Fall Festival, it's returning this weekend. We have a look at what's ahead coming up. Stay with us. WNY News Now is back after this.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than WNY Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on WNY Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. WNY Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Last month, Governor Kathy Hochul signed legislation to support and honor Holocaust survivors in educational, cultural, and financial institutions. New York is home to the largest Jewish population outside of Israel. At the Jerusalem Post annual conference yesterday, Hochul briefly talked about what her office is doing to address the rise in anti-Semitism.
Let's just hit it right out there. You know, the rise in anti-Semitism is of deep personal concern to me as a human being and the leader of this state.
Now, the recent legislation, her office says, will benefit the Jewish community in a few ways. First, to help ensure that New York State schools are properly educating students on the Holocaust. It will require museums to acknowledge art stolen from the Jewish community during the Nazi era in Europe. And it will require the Department of Financial Service to publish a list of banks voluntarily waiving fees for Holocaust reapportionment payments. And in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, on Monday, multiple organizations and advocates called on the House lawmakers there to pass a comprehensive reform legislation for parole. More than half of individuals admitted into the Commonwealth's prisons are there for violations of probation or parole, but many of these violations are non-criminal. The legislation limits technical violations like traffic offenses, which often create a revolving door for individuals trying to gain their freedom. Business leaders, district attorneys, and even conservatives think tanks all express their support for the legislation, which they say can boost the state's economy and public safety.
This legislation properly balances the equally important interests of corrections, the victim, the offender, and the Commonwealth at large.
Now, Senate Bill 913 passed the state Senate last year with bipartisan support. That bill now sits in the House Judiciary Committee for consideration, but with only 12 session days remaining, advocates say time is running out. Well, the Erie Zoo is mourning the loss of a very special animal. Nala the lion was humanely euthanized Monday, surrounded by her caregivers. The zoo shared with Erie News Now's Kristen Allen what made Nala so special.
The Erie Zoo has a number of well-loved animals and fan favorites, but perhaps none of them compare to Nala the African lioness, nicknamed the Queen of the Erie Zoo.
Nala has been a beloved member of the Erie Zoo for over 2 decades. She came here when she was just 4 months old, so there are actually some animal keepers here who have taken care of her since she was a baby all the way through today.
Monday, at the age of 24, Nala was humanely euthanized after her care team made observations over the weekend that her quality of life was rapidly diminishing.
It was time that we had to euthanize her and say goodbye.
It was a difficult decision for the zoo to make, but African lions have a life expectancy of 10 to 18 years. 24-year-old Nala far surpassed that.
At 24, Nala was actually one of the oldest lions in the world at the time of her death.
Online, people are remembering Nala, expressing their condolences to the zoo and sharing memories of her sweet and spunky personality.
She has a very sweet and kind demeanor. She is very loving to her visitors and her caregivers, but she also had a bit of a stubborn streak, which we really adore. We dubbed her affectionately the Queen of the Zoo because Nala did what Nala wanted on Nala's time.
She won't soon be forgotten by the Erie Zoo or by the generations of families who grew up with her.
Really want to thank our community and visitors and members for all of the kind thoughts and well wishes during this time while we are grieving her passing. So thank you so much to everyone for all the kindness being sent our way.
Kristen Allen, Erie News Now.
Kristen, thank you. Now, no new lions will join the remaining lions, Eva and Desta. Their habitat will be expanded. The Erie Zoo is looking to continue to operate with its regular hours 10 to 5. Well, to celebrate the changing of the seasons, Bemis Point's annual Fall Festival will take place this weekend. From Friday through Sunday, the celebration of summer changing into autumn includes a street market, petting zoo, open houses, live music, and seasonal food and drink specials. Bemis Point stores will continue their annual Draw a Leaf discount. In addition to the festival, customers will draw from a jar of leaves and receive a discount between 5% to 50%. Bemis Point's annual Fall Fest kicks off in the middle of the lake on Friday. Certainly a lot of fun for a lot of people who are getting into the fall spirit. Well, coming up next, we're on the hunt for Bigfoot here in our region. We'll take you to a stretch of the Allegheny Forest where the mythical creature was last seen. But first, we return with a full look at our weather forecast. Stay with us. WNY News Now is back right after this.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Noah. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back to News Now at noon. Let's take a look at current weather. Downtown Jamestown is 61 degrees at the airport as of noon under mostly cloudy skies. You can see a few peaks of blue sky out there. We have a few peaks through the afternoon with a south wind at 8 miles per hour at the noon hour. The next few days are going to be cooler, but the next 6 to 10 days, the NOAA temperature outlook favors above average temperatures all across the Great Lakes region and the Northeast. So if you're not a fan of the fall weather and you still like the warmer weather, stay tuned. We will have some warmer temperatures as we head into the next week. We had a cold front that moved through last night. And if I can get the radar too sometimes. There we go. We had a cold front move through last week. There's that cold front across eastern portions of New York. Now we have low pressure spinning across Lake Erie. That'll bring a few rain showers and thunderstorms possible this afternoon. There is another cold front which is up there above the banner. That cold front's going to move through later tomorrow night, may touch off another isolated shower and allow cooler temperatures as we head into Thursday. Let's time it out for the rest of the afternoon. Future look does show showers and a few thunderstorms through the afternoon, also a few breaks to clouds. Those showers and thunderstorms will taper off as we head into the night. We may have just an isolated shower overnight tonight. We head into tomorrow morning, have an isolated shower in the morning, some fog, but the fog and the clouds and the showers should taper off through the rest of the afternoon, leading to a partly cloudy afternoon tomorrow. Now that cold front will move through later tomorrow night, bringing another chance for an isolated shower, but after that, high pressure is going to build back in, and that's going to bring nice weather as we head into the rest of the week and into the weekend. So for today, partly mostly cloudy skies out there, occasional showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon. Temperatures mid-60s at the hilltops to upper 60s, close to 70 at the lower elevations. For tonight, low 50s in the valleys, near 60 to the lake shore, partly to mostly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible. Now the next 7 days, if you're looking for the sunshine, it returns tomorrow, but it returns in full force by Thursday and Friday. Cool sunshine on Thursday with temperatures in the mid-60s. Friday we warm up into the lower 70s, and the warmer temperatures are going to return for the weekend, mid-70s, close to 80. Continuing with the dry weather in the weekend, we bring in a chance for maybe a rain shower by next Monday, Justin.
All right, Andrew, looks like that summertime temperatures sticking around for just a little bit longer. Thank you very much. Well, here's some headlines from around the nation now. When a potential massive rail strike on Friday could deal another blow to the U.S. economy. The 7 unions, which represent more than 90,000 workers at the nation's freight railroads, could go on strike. They want salary increases and back pay for hours worked since 2020. If they do strike, it could bring 40% of the nation's freight to a grinding halt. A prolonged strike could lead to empty shelves in stores, temporary closures at factories that don't have the parts they need, and higher prices due to limited availability of consumer goods. Now, railroad workers are under a different labor law than one that controls labor relations at most businesses. That means it's possible Congress could act to prevent or quickly stop a strike, but that would require a level of bipartisanship that's rare in D.C. just weeks ahead of the midterm elections. Well, U.S. consumers are expecting inflation to fall sharply in both the short and long term. That's according to a new survey from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Numbers dropped for both 1- and 3-year inflation expectations. Now this, as gas prices continue to fall, down to a national average of $3.71 a gallon from a peak of more than just $5 back in June. The survey, which measures consumers' expectations for overall inflation, as well as prices for food, gas, housing, and education, is one of 3 key inflation-related gauges to be released this week. The Consumer Price Index is out today, followed by the Producer Price Index come tomorrow. All 3 of these will be discussed by the Federal Reserve later in the month, as it weighs yet another interest rate hike to help combat inflation. Well, it's been a little more than 7 months since Russia invaded Ukraine, and the United States and other countries now providing Ukraine with economic and military assistance to help push back against the attacks. Just a few days ago, the Biden administration announcing another wave of financial assistance to Ukraine. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp breaks it all down.
Our local congressional members are supportive of Ukraine trying to push back against Russia's attack, but some are worried about the growing price tag for this aid. The Biden administration approved $675 million for additional arms, munitions, and equipment from the U.S. Department of Defense inventories. The State Department says they also want to make an additional $2.2 billion available in long-term investments to boost security in Ukraine and their neighbors to push back against any Russian aggression. We reached out to some of our members on this. Representative-elect Joseph Sempolinski, who will soon start representing Western New York, told us in a statement, quote, "The Russian invasion of Ukraine is an utterly unacceptable act of aggression. Russia must end this needless war." However, the rep-elect remains concerned about the scale of American expenditures when we have so many pressing needs at home, end quote. Pennsylvania Congressman Fred Keller shares similar concerns. He told us in a statement which said in part, "I am concerned that the Biden administration is focused on the sovereignty of foreign nations over our own." Keller mentions he's worried about the border crisis and seizures of fentanyl, which have increased dramatically. He adds he swore to put the interests of Americans first, and if we are not secure as a nation, we cannot effectively help anyone else. In total, the U.S. has committed about $14.5 billion for security assistance for Ukraine. At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.
All right, Rachel, thank you very much. Next, we're on the hunt for Bigfoot here in our region. We'll take you to a stretch of the Allegheny Forest where the mystical creature was last seen.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at 1ball4tc.com.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
lights,
vests,
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
to help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Welcome back. There was a big festival over the weekend in Ohio that celebrated the legend of Bigfoot. It was held in a park where a family claimed to have seen the ape-like creature 2 years ago. There have been plenty of Sasquatch sightings here in our region, as well as northwest Pennsylvania. That's where Erie News Now's John Last headed, to the woods for his segment, The Last Word.
Did you know that Pennsylvania ranks third in the country for the number of Bigfoot sightings? And a lot of those sightings were reported here at Kinzua Bridge State Park and the Allegheny National Forest. There's hundreds of thousands of acres of forest land in these parts, a perfect place for Bigfoot to reside, if the creature does indeed exist. Believers flock to Kinzua Bridge State Park, hoping to learn more about the furry behemoth. Jason Burt works at the Visitors Center merchandise shop. He talks to a lot of those believers.
It's been kind of big around here, and everybody has different stories about where they think they've seen them before, and so everybody's always out here trying to look for them.
The park is all in on the Bigfoot phenomenon. The merchandise shop sells Bigfoot stickers, magnets, postcards, and T-shirts. The Bigfoot penny press is a popular way to get a souvenir. A reported Bigfoot sighting at the park is part of an exhibit at the Visitors Center. This is definitely Bigfoot country.
And I will say the visitors letting us know that they've seen Bigfoot is maybe a little more common than you might think.
Matt Schenk is an educator at the park.
But as far as visitors with photos or real evidence, definitely fewer and far between.
Do you believe in Bigfoot or anything like that?
I haven't seen the proof of it myself. No.
John Stoneman of Bradford claims to have some proof that looks quite convincing. He took these pictures from his car in 2013. The shots were taken 4 miles from the State Park Visitors Center. The pictures show not one, but 2 Bigfoot creatures.
But I took a lot of shots. I just kept shooting and shooting and shooting. They appeared to be walking through the woods.
John says the creatures were 7 to 8 feet tall. He also took a picture of a crunched-up speed limit sign he says was too far off the road for a vehicle to damage.
But yeah, it looks like somebody put their hand on the bottom of the sign and just pushed up on it. It's exactly what it looks like.
John is a musician and wrote a song about his Bigfoot experience. One line goes like this: "I was a skeptic on that fateful day, but seeing what I saw took all my doubts away." With the last word at Kinzua Bridge State Park, John Last, Erie News Now.
All right, John, you better be careful there, my friend. Thank you very much. Keep a watchful eye on the path behind you. Well, that is it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. No Bigfoot here in Randolph that we can see right now anyway. See you back here tomorrow.